Are you short on time and you're looking for a way to increase a massive amount of strength and size in a certain body part? If that's what you're looking for, stay tuned to the rest of this video. What's up, everybody? I'm Dane from Garage Strength, and one of the things that we pride ourselves on is taking middle-aged individuals who might have lagging body parts, who might have areas of struggle where they can't increase mass or they can't increase size. And if we're talking about bodybuilders specifically, or anybody who's in the fitness realm that's trying to get a little bit bigger in their shoulders, or a little bit bigger in their buys, or a little bit bigger in their triceps, one of the tricks that we like to use, and one of the tricks that we love to pride ourselves on, is utilizing the principle of triceps. Utilizing triceps. So these are pretty simple. And if you reference back to our positions of flexion video, and even utilizing a little bit of pre-exhaustion, it's sort of a massive combination of the three. And so what we like to do is, when we're dealing with something as simple as triceps, if we've got somebody who comes in, they've got 30 minutes, okay? What we want to do is we want to stimulate a little bit of strength, we want to stimulate high threshold motor units, and then we want to fatigue those specific muscle fibers that have been stimulated. If we can think about someone comes in, biceps are weak, or their triceps are weak. Let's pretend we're going to go with buys, okay? So they've got 30 minutes of training ahead of themselves. What we're gonna do in a tricep is we're gonna set it up where we're gonna go compound, mid-range, contraction, isolation. So if you can reference back to that positions of flexion video, we know where the mid-range is, especially if we're dealing with biceps. We know the mid-range is where our upper arm is gonna be in front of our torso. If we're dealing with buys, okay? The way the tricep would be laid out with the compound movement, we'd go close grip, chin up, slow eccentric. The main goals here of this compound movement is to stimulate massive high threshold motor units, and that's on the eccentric especially. We want to start to open up those mTOR pathways. So we might do 4 to 5 sets by 4 to 6 reps. And now we're gonna rest. We'll rest 30 seconds. We'll go to our mid-range work. So our mid-range is going to be a little bit more isolation. So we're going to go to standing barbell or preacher curl. We'll do 4 to 5 sets by 10 to 12 reps. So we got that 30-second rest right here. And then we're going to hit up the standing barbell with a slower eccentric, maybe just a 2-second count, but a little bit more controlled. And it's just going to predominantly be elbow flexion the entire time. Okay, and then we're gonna finish off this tricep with a contraction isolation. So let's do spider curls on the incline, 4 to 5 sets by 17 reps. Okay, so we're just gonna hit up the rest period here, and we're gonna finish with contraction here, okay? So we got that big contraction, we got spider curls, so that now that the upper arm is going to be close to the head, and we are going to be completely contracting the biceps so that we can create a little bit greater mind muscle connection. And then after this, we will rest 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll get back up to those close grip chin ups with a slow eccentric. And so what this tricep does is it gets a whole bunch of work done in a short period of time. And on top of getting a whole bunch of work done, it stimulates your strength aspect. It stimulates those high threshold motor units, and then we continue to increase the recruitment of these muscle fibers in the biceps, and then we're gonna fatigue them with the spider curls. Okay, so that would be if we're gonna do biceps, but it goes compound, mid-range, contraction. That's the way we use it, and we've got to remember that that's the principle behind everything. So if we get into the triceps, okay, so if we're running a tricep with triceps, remember our principle: compound, mid-range, contraction. Okay, so we got to go back to the positions of flexion and positions, in this case, of extension, and where that is going to create, so where that's going to take us. So a compound movement for the triceps, close grip incline bench, 4 to 5 sets, 4 to 6 reps. So this is going to be pretty intense. It's going to be pretty heavy, and it's going to smash that long head. You're really going to start to stimulate those high threshold motor units. Now we're gonna rest 30 seconds. We're gonna drop down. Now for a mid-range, let's use the tele extension. And if you don't know what the tele extension is, head over to the Miracle Grown tele extension video where we discuss 2 of the best tricep exercises that you've most likely never done, and you will get serious growth out of them. Okay, so now we're gonna drop down and then ghost face kickbacks, 4 to 5 by 17 to 20. And I typically don't like kickbacks, just dumbbell kickbacks. And if we can think about the contracted position here for triceps, it's gonna be when that upper arm is behind the torso and you're fully lengthened here, okay? For the tele extension, these 2 paired together will stimulate a ton of growth in the triceps, a ton of growth. And if you're doing this, if you've got a pretty good bench press, you can use close to 300 plus pounds on this close grip incline. And then we're gonna head over here and you're gonna be at 185 to 200 pounds on the tele extension if you're pretty freaking strong. And then you're gonna drop down and you're gonna finish it off with just getting that nice pump. And the big thing that the ghost face kickbacks provides is when you're contracted, there's still tension on that band. And that's gonna lead to extracellular water coming into the cell, which is going to lead to that sarcoplasmic pump. And all of the high threshold motor units are going to be getting that, those muscle fibers are going to be getting that extracellular water because they've been stimulated from the first 2. And that's the whole key behind the tricep. We've just got to remember that the principle goes back to it's a compound, it's a mid-range, and then it's a contraction. We've got to make sure we're following those 30-second rest periods, and then we've got about 2 to 3 minutes rest after the big set. And we've got to focus on recovery. We've got to focus on executing this as cleanly and as properly as possible. And that's going to lead to massive gains in your bis and your tris. If you like this information, we use this in Bize and Trize 1 and Bize and Trize 2. Both are available at garagestrength.com. Please like, subscribe, share this video all over the internet. Peace.